Hi, everyone. So it turns out that it's a good idea I got this mattress for my bedroom because I'm going to be needing it for the next, a few days or so, because Alicia's got COVID for the second time. And so today's been pretty busy. Like, she woke me up at noon. It didn't get busy for me until after that, but she was waking me up at noon. She just stood at like the side of the bed and she was calling my name, and I woke up and she had a mask on, and I'm like, what's going on with you? And she's like, I tested positive for COVID because the government has those free COVID tests that you can order every so often. And so she took one, it was positive, and she was headed over to the weekend clinic to see if they could give her like one of their better tests. So while she was gone, I turned the bedroom into where she's going to be hanging out for a while. So I put her TV in there, all their stuff. I just feel really bad for her. Like, she's got symptoms like body aches, chills, sore throat, and it's been about 3 years since she got it the first time, and that was in 2020 toward the end, which was, it was still like, it was relatively like early on in the pandemic, so they didn't have vaccines out. They didn't have like tons of information. So I remember the exact moment when she got the call and she was told that the first time that she was told that her COVID test was positive. And I remember feeling terrified because nobody really knew. Like, all we knew at that point was that, a lot of people were dying from COVID, and that was, I believe that was still during lockdown. Let me get some water. I can hear the dry mouth. Sorry, I always feel anxious when I'm on here, even though maybe I don't sound it, but I always am. So maybe that explains some of the dry mouth. But anyways, so yeah. So 3 years later, we have more info, but I miss Dr. Fauci. I always knew what was going on with the pandemic because he always had information, and I even used to watch those White House COVID briefings because I wanted to see the stats and facts and what was going on and what to watch out for. And then when he retired, it's like, there's no other voice like his, so you have to go and do some researching on your own now, it seems, which is fine, but so I'm going to have to do that to see, like, where the state of COVID is. Like, last I heard, there's variations, but I haven't heard much else except for more people are getting it, and especially where Alicia works. She's had several coworkers call out, each week with COVID. So so she went to the clinic while I was here, and they gave her whatever initial test they do, and they said that was negative. And then they asked her, I think it's called a PCR test. I don't know what that is. I think it's like more serious or catches more maybe. But she would have to pay $100 out of pocket if she wanted them to give her that one. And she decided no, like, I don't know, $100 seems like a lot and plus it's the weekend, and, like, places charge exorbitant fees for stuff that shouldn't be that expensive. But anyways, so she said no, and they just told her it looks like it's viral. Like, okay, great. That's great, thanks. So she comes home and takes a nap, and I told her when she wakes up, take another COVID test because I want to see what that one says. And a few hours later, she took another one and it was positive. So we're going with she has COVID for the second time, and we're doing the whole masking thing, like when I go to the room to give her stuff. But so I'm wondering, like, did I have COVID these past couple of weeks, and that was why I had all those things going on? Because yesterday morning, I woke up, and it must have been like a literal fog that I experienced because I was clear-headed. I did not have any balance issues. I didn't feel foggy in the slightest. I wasn't forgetting something every other minute like I have been. It just seemed like all that stuff vanished. And I was like, what the fuck was that all about? The blurriness, everything. That's not even come back. Today's the second day. I'm almost at the end of the second day, and it's the same. I feel like my normal self. Except I feel like I'm having sympathy COVID. I talked about that the last time that I mentioned that Alicia had gotten COVID, that like I thought I had it too because I was feeling like body aches and a sore throat, and it was just that first day, and then the next day it was nothing. So I have that again, but I'm not even that concerned about it because I don't feel sick. And sometimes, I don't know, like, feel like, I don't know how this works, but it's almost like, I don't know. I used to be able to explain this like really well, but like if you think about something like long enough or something, like I might manifest COVID symptoms because I'm like, oh no, she's got COVID and did I have it and blah, blah, blah. So like, I wonder if like sometimes I manifest things. So I think that's all this is. And I haven't tested positive for COVID, and I've been getting tested. So since I have no proof that I was positive for COVID, I'm still going to be identifying as the no COVID people. I have not gotten COVID since the pandemic started. But anyways, that's not even that important to mention. So my mind was like, okay, this is what you have to do. So, when something happens, and I'll use Alicia as an example, like, she's my wife, she's got COVID, and she comes first. So, that means that, like, I'm doing, like, extra dishes, extra everything, making her dinners and stuff, like, just pretty much doing everything until she feels better. And, I'm not complaining about it, but, I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm complaining about it, but sometimes it seems like doing extra things on top of what I'm already doing. I mean, it seems like a lot, even if it's going to 2 stores in one day. And I'm saying this to you guys again because I think, like, you guys understand. Hold on. There's a cat. Cat, come on. Get out of there. Sorry. Cats are being weird. What was I saying? I should re-record, but I don't think I will. Oh, my mind. So, I haven't felt like this or had this, like, thought pattern or whatever it is since I last worked at Harbor Lights, which was, like, the job that I had before I became a freelancer. It was the reason why I became a freelancer. And, oops. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I'm actually sitting on my air mattress. Not that anybody asked, but it feels like I need to pump it up or something. What was I saying? Yes. So, like, actually, I shouldn't even just say it was that job. It was any job I've ever had, especially the military, because the kind of job I had in the military, there was no room for mistakes. There was no room for laziness. Like, it was like life or death, literally, like on a regular basis. Sorry, more water. So I think it was easier to either avoid burnout or prolong it or whatever. Like when I was in my 20s and early 30s, it was so much easier to do because I had different things going on. Like, and work is just the best example I can give. And when something serious happened, it was like, it didn't matter how I was feeling, what I was thinking. I turned that shit off and I just focused on the issue at hand. And I'm not talking necessarily about like the shit that I used to do when I would numb out, like just, I guess it's like disassociation in a way. Dissociation, did I say that right? I used to do that quite a bit. I don't do that really anymore. But it's just like I shut down this part of me and I am putting all of my energy toward whatever this thing is, because It needs to be taken care of quickly. And that's what I used to do, especially in the military. And that lessened over the years after I got out. But there were still plenty of situations where that happened. And that's interesting to me. It's like, it's like this instant switch. It's like my brain instantly recognizes this is serious. This needs to be taken care of as quickly as possible with as few mistakes as possible, if any. And therefore, I don't fucking care that you're tired right now. I don't care that you want to go home and eat a pizza. You're going to be doing this thing until it's better or taken care of. Does that make sense? Is that an autistic thing, or is that just how people are in general? Part of me wonders if it's mostly autistic, because maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm not researching or doing anything to support my beliefs on this, but it just seems like the switch part is easy, because that's where I'm at right now. As soon as she said I've got COVID, especially when she tested positive the second time here, I have a lot of stuff on my plate. This was going to be kind of a busy week for me. And now on top of that, and I'm not blaming her. This is not her fault. She didn't ask for COVID, but it's just stuff that I have to think about and prepare for. That on top of that, I'm going to be taking care of her, bringing her food, anything that she needs. Which, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're autistic, it is a lot. It can be a lot. And that's why I just kind of have to shut off the part of me that is I'm feeling tired. I wish I could take a nap, or I'm so stressed out right now. And I just shut that off. And it's I'm good. I've got my stuff. I've got her stuff, and we're going to get through this. And so I'm going to see how long that lasts this time, because I'm older now. And I get overwhelmed way easier than I used to. But so far, she's got pretty much the same symptoms that she had the first time she got it. I don't remember if I even mentioned that. She's got the body aches and the headache and the temperature and the sore throat and all that. And I don't care what anybody says. If you get COVID the first time, you'll have immunity built up or something for other times you may get it. I don't know that I believe that, because this is something that changes pretty rapidly sometimes. It mutates. Who knows, if it's becoming something way worse, or, my mind just goes to that place. And I don't want to take any chances, so I'm not going to sit here and be oh, it'll be okay. We'll just be relaxed about some things because you've already had COVID the first time. Nope. And I'm not even concerned about getting COVID. That's the heat, if you heard something click on. Sorry. But, I just got on here to record because maybe somebody can relate. It's so strange, because I'm aware of it this time, that all of the stress I was experiencing earlier, and it's not like there was tons of it, but it's it's Sunday, this is what I have for this week, and I'm writing out my schedules and my routines and stuff to make sure I'm on top of stuff. And I immediately stop feeling that way when I realize I have to step up, because I'm the only person here right now that can do something about this. And I think it's just cool that that happens in the brain. I wonder what that is. Because it's not that easy for me to do that with anything else. I don't know. If it's a situation where I don't have to, I'm not expected to step up, or there's nothing for me to do, but the situation it still needs to get improved upon somehow, but other people are taking care of it. I don't really snap into that mode unless I'm the only one. And so maybe that's a normal thing with people, or maybe there's people that would complain about oh, now I have to do this too. But I don't feel that way. I just feel oh fuck, man, I don't want anything worse to happen to her. And so my primary responsibility is to make sure all of her needs are met as best as I can. And that means doing shopping and getting her, some kind of medication, anything that would help. I don't know. I mean, she couldn't even get, like, what is that they send people home with nowadays? Is it called Paxlovid? Is that the right one? Where, like, if you test positive earlier on into catching COVID, you take that medication and, like, it makes the duration easier or something. Well, she tested negative there, so she got sent away with nothing except for some cough and cold medication they sent to the pharmacy that she told me don't pick up because she's like, I don't need that. I'm not going to use it. Because we don't think it's viral. But anyways, so I am like wide awake now. I was like so tired earlier. I was like, maybe I'll take a nap. It's Sunday. But then, no, wait, did I get up at noon? Oh, yeah, so that was yesterday. I didn't take a nap yesterday, but nobody asked me. So, yeah, that doesn't count. But anyways, yeah. I have to make sure that, like, and plus, my focus is because I'm at the one end of the hall, like I mentioned before. And the hall's not, like, super long. And there's only, like, in the hall, at one end is the bedroom, at the other end is my room, and then in the middle is, like, the bathroom. So I can hear her pretty well. I can hear, like, if the TV's on, if she needs anything. I told her to text me, too, because sometimes you can't hear shit when this heater kicks on. Even if somebody's yelling from, like, across the hall, you can't hear it. But, yeah, I have to make sure that, like, I'm on top of everything. And so I'm curious to see how this week is going to play out because typically, like, I would get burned out. I mean, yeah, I would get burned out in general having to do something like this, but, like, I wonder if it's different because, it's like I've told myself I have no choice. Am I just talking in circles now? I feel like I am. Sorry. But, maybe this is like a different form of stress or anxiety and I'm not aware of it or something. Like it could be that, but I just think it's really interesting how I went from feeling stressed, kind of tired, blah, 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 to especially when, like mostly when she tested the second time when we were sure that it's COVID. It's like, okay, I don't feel stressed anymore. I don't feel tired anymore. I feel wide awake, alert, and I'm in planning mode. I need to plan. And I need to think of some of the what ifs and blah, blah, blah. And, it's not that easy these days to just shift into a different way of thinking and feeling. Like, oh my God, I swear it's almost impossible the older I've gotten. I don't know if there's like a time limit for this shit because there's people that are in their 60s finding out they're autistic that had no idea. So, I don't know. Like, I've heard with some things, like the older you get, like things can kind of fizzle out. Like, for example, people would say this about borderline personality disorder, which, like I said before, I don't think is a thing. Excuse me, I just took some water. Drink some water. I don't really think that's a thing. But a lot of people would say the older somebody gets who has BPD, the less symptoms they have. It's like their symptoms decrease and almost fade away to nothing. And I don't think it's like that with autism because I could do a whole lot in my 20s, even though I was like a dumbass for half of those years. I could get a whole lot done in my 20s. I could get a whole lot done up until about my mid-30s. And then it just seems from then on, I have less patience. I have less tolerance for bullshit. I have, like, it's easier for me to go into a meltdown now. It's just, I don't know. It's harder to, like, because I'm not even really masking anymore unless I'm going out. And I don't even know if I'm doing it then, because I don't really think about that, because I don't go out that often, but maybe I should. But yeah. So, I hope you can relate to this in some way. and that you don't think that my episodes are just getting worse. But I just wanted to get on here and kind of say this out loud because I don't know what this is. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing and just overthinking this, but it's just really interesting to me how like you can just immediately shift from one way of being to another based on the situation. And I don't know. I mean, I was in the desert in the military, so you kind of had to be prepared for anything at any minute. So like maybe that's where some of that comes from. I don't know, maybe that's just ingrained in me, but it's like I don't feel bothered by what I have this week. I don't feel bothered by taking on extra stuff because if I wasn't able to switch to this kind of like thought pattern, like I don't know. I think I'm just sounding kind of ridiculous right now, but what I'm trying to say is, I don't know. Oh my God. I don't even think I should keep recording anymore. I should probably delete this, but like I'm over 21 minutes and I've said this multiple times in past episodes, but they still seem to be getting listened to. So, basically I would like to know if this is like an autistic thing, and I know that this is an autistic podcast, but there's just some things that come up that I don't know. Like I like to put things into boxes, and I know that's not always possible, but I still try to as much as possible. And I try to label things as much as possible, just like in ways so that I can better understand something. So it goes into its box and it makes sense in my mind. And I don't have a box in my mind for I'm feeling stressed out and tired to like, I can just switch this off. And I don't feel that way anymore because now I have to get shit done. Is this what you parents do with your kids? Because I don't have kids. So, like, do parents do this really easily? Like, you know, whatever they have going on, and, like, let's say their child gets hurt or something, like, they just go into parent mode, and their kid is the only thing on their mind. Not that I'm likening this to being a parent and having a child, because I know that's nowhere near the same thing, but I don't know if there's like a term for this or if this is just something that I spent 20 something minutes on over talking and you all are going to click off or already have clicked off and you're like, oh man, this is getting like bad. This is getting bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being negative right now, but I don't feel negative. Hi, kitty. Say hi. What do you want? What? Did you go check on your mommy? Okay. That's my soul kitty. Hi. Sorry for however this episode sounds. I am so sorry. This was not planned, as you can probably tell. But I needed to get this off of my chest because, I guess I am a little bit anxious and worried deep down because I don't want anything to happen to Alicia because she's my person. She's my only person. So then I feel selfish for thinking that because, you know, her life is not about me. I could just keep going with this. I'm going to get off of here now. I really hope I'm talking to myself because I don't know. Bye. Okay, thanks for listening. Goodbye.